Hello everybody, this is psychologist Dr. Walt Jernigan from the New Mexico Junior College, and welcome to PS 113, Introduction to Psychology, Chapter 11, Part 1, called Personality Theory and Assessment. And some of the main ideas I want to go over with you on Part 1 are the notion of personality, an introduction to Sigmund Freud and his views on personality, and his levels of consciousness, including the conscious mind, preconscious, and unconscious. Here we go. What do you mean when you describe someone else's personality? We often use that word to convey a judgment about the other person somehow. And it can become a personality rating or scoring on how pleasant it is to be around them. For example, we might say, she has a nice personality, she's fun to be with. Or, this guy has no personality, boring. The way we define personality in psychology, however, is a little different. What we say is, it is the characteristic patterns of behaving, thinking, and feeling. Characteristic meaning that these patterns are stable, and we can count on a person to be the same person tomorrow as they are today, as they were yesterday. Now, of course, you can surprise yourself or others by acting in ways sometimes that are unexpected. Maybe you're feeling a little sick or tired, or there are social pressures around you being in a group. What we call the power of the situation. But, for the most part, we expect each other to be much the same from day to day. This allows us to have predictable relationships with one another, which is critical for our survival because we are social creatures. It is a basic fabric of civilized society. So the question for psychology is, where does this personality come from? Are you born that way? Or is it something shaped by the environment, by learning experiences? Sigmund Freud was the first person to offer a comprehensive psychological explanation for personality and its development. Freud was a medical doctor from Vienna, Austria. And he did not start out as a psychologist and psychiatrist. He was very effective with his patients who presented with physical problems that could not be medically explained by him or others. Freud discovered in his research that by talking with his patients in a systematic fashion called psychotherapy, that it helped to cure their symptoms. It was out of these case studies that he developed his grand theory of personality. Freud's views on personality are comprehensive, and no one before or since has come up with a theory as far-reaching or all-encompassing as his. Freud himself is controversial then and today, but no matter what you think of him, he was a shrewd observer of human behavior. His theories heavily influenced psychology all the way into the first half of the 20th century. When I was coming up in graduate school in the late 1970s, his ideas were already in a state of decline and losing popularity. But his views have generated tremendous research in psychology. They're still influential today. And maybe the biggest fact to consider is that we still talk about Sigmund Freud and psychoanalysis. It will not go away. Freud's theory of personality, as well as his therapy for treating psychological disorders, is called psychoanalysis. Let's now explore the main ideas of psychoanalytic theory as Freud saw it. I would say the single word which best sums up psychoanalysis is the unconscious. This is the key idea. We have 3 levels of consciousness, and these are the conscious, the preconscious, and the unconscious. The conscious mind is everything that you're aware of at any given moment. Think back to Chapter 4 on consciousness. It includes thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, wishes, fantasies, images, all of that. Then we have the preconscious mind. The preconscious mind consists of memories that you're currently not aware of, but you can quickly summon these into the conscious mind. For example, here's a thought exercise. Think of your favorite teacher or coach from school. Try to visualize his or her face, their voice, and times you had together in the classroom or on the athletic field. Think of something he or she said or did that you still remember today. I bet you were not thinking of this person in your life until I triggered it a few seconds ago. Those happy memories and images were in your preconscious mind, but now they're in your conscious mind. And in a couple more minutes, they will recede back into the preconscious mind, where they will stay until something dredges them up again. If the conscious mind is similar to Chapter 4 in our book, then the preconscious mind has to be similar to the notion of long-term memory from Chapter 6. We've gone over the conscious mind, the preconscious, and now we come to the unconscious, which is the most important level of consciousness. It is defined as everything which is unpleasant and involuntarily removed from conscious mind. The unconscious consists of emotion and memories that you're unaware of, such as in the preconscious mind, but in contrast to the preconscious, these cannot be easily pulled up into the conscious awareness. They're typically of a sexual or aggressive nature that are taboo and difficult to talk about. In fact, they may be so upsetting that you never become aware of contents in the unconscious mind. Let me clear up a misunderstanding here. Freud did not invent the idea of the unconscious. That had been around at least for hundreds of years before him. But the huge importance he gave it as the driving force in shaping and developing personality, this is his original contribution. So that ends Part 1. Join us next time for Part 2, Chapter 11, Personality Theory and Assessment. So long.